show, playoff edition. I'm here joined by the usual suspects, Artie and Dalen, and we got a new guest for the stream this week, Alex. How's everybody else doing?
We
I just
doing
got one
good. We
question.
feeling
Why we gotta be
marvelous.
suspects? Is it all because we black men? Is that why we
Absolutely.
suspects? We just
It-
because
I,
we couldn't
I
have
had to
blood?
find a common denominator for everybody here.
I
Suspect just
understand.
seemed like the easiest word.
Suspect is like the easiest word indeed.
I understand.
Hey, we doing good, man. We
Man.
feeling good, man. It's playoff time. Let's go.
Yeah,
When somebody got to go home.
somebody got
Somebody
to
gotta
be
go
the
home.
last game of the weekend. We've seen a whole bunch of craziness, good football back and forth, and now it's on us. The NFL relied on the Cowboys to close out the playoff weekend. On this MLK Day, Tom Brady needs to be sent home. All right, let's start it off with the inactives list for tonight. We got Trayvon Mullen and Nashawn Wright at the cornerback position. That's a real shocker to me, Nashawn Wright. Will Greer, Jalen Tolbert, Jabril Cox, and then defensive tackles Neville Gallimore and Quentin Bohanna. Any early thoughts on those?
Damn, I did not know Bo was. I did not know Bo was inactive. Oof. I guess
Yeah.
Hankins. All right, it's on Hankins then. It's on Hankins.
Nah,
And
let me tell you what it is,
Osa.
twin.
Let me expect Osa to do something too. Then expect
Let me tell you what it is, twin. Let me tell you what it is. The pass rush
the
will need that tonight.
okay with Bohanna being out is because playing against the last couple games. With the limited reps that he's gotten, he had like 6 run stops last game. I mean, he's been plugging up holes and really disciplined. Bohanna, ever since he messed up his arm, he ain't been the same. So
You're right.
I feel like it's about the pass rush, fellas. I mean, listen, all this stream, y'all, I'm trolling, but we got an untalented quarterback we're going up against tonight. And he's a sitting duck. And when you got sitting ducks just rolling around, you go hunt. You don't play with your food. You don't sit there. You don't let them stir the pot. You don't sit there and let them have time to make little quick decisions. Nah, you go hunt. And I feel like that's why Bohanna and the other defensive tackle is inactive. It's just hunting time. We're gonna probably see 3 defensive ends and one tackle in there. Like it's just hunting time.
So I just same thinking. I believe that we need to get after Tom Brady, of course, but the foul containing Leonard Fournette all season long, except he has been horrible. He had his 100-yard game against us and outside. So we need to make them pass the ball, make them like, all right, let's just pass the ball all game and go that route. And then let's go eat and go get after him.
Yeah, the biggest thing I noticed is Nashawn Wright, honestly, for me, because I assumed he'd be the starting outside cornerback going into the day, and he'd have to fail before they would put somebody else into the matchup. Didn't expect Mullen to play at all. He was already ruled out on Friday. But yeah, the fact that they're going to go with Xavier Rhodes, who hasn't taken one snap with the team to start a playoff game, I think that just really shows how dire the cornerback situation is. And it's just we know that's where Tom Brady's throwing all day long. Bland, Diggs, y'all gonna have easy nights. Just make sure y'all filling it on the run game because Tom Brady's gonna be attacking that weakness to death.
Yup.
Ghost, go ahead, because you just popped in. How do you
Talk
feel
about the
about
inactives.
Yeah? How you feel about the fact that we're going so light at the defensive tackle position?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I guess I should be, but I mean, Gallimore's been useless. The dude just care at this point to stop the run. I mean, they've given up on his pass, hitting him in at one tech. They've been doing a jumbo package with him and Bohanna. And, I mean, at this point, give the snaps to Golston. LVE's back. You got boy, and you find a way. You got to manufacture your run defense. You got to find LVE to sit his ass in a gap and say, look, you might take on some contact, not forgetting that you're 245 fucking pounds.
Hey, right.
All right.
I mean, I think right shot. This is where we're at, and I did not believe Quinn. Look, I'm just throwing shit at the wall. I'm playing games, and
Mhm.
this is I'm gonna have going into tonight. Is this a bad sign of experimenting and they don't like anything they've seen, or was I wrong and they've been playing? They honestly didn't give a shit about going 13-4 and 12-5. They wanted to have, and are they truly that locked into the playoffs? Where this isn't working the last few weeks, I know what I'm going to do in the playoffs. I don't care if we lose week 17, as long as we get in and I get to see what I want to see.
That's a fair point because everybody talked, including me a little bit, talked about how last week didn't matter the way we played. Well, obviously it did because we're seeing drastic changes on the line now. I mean, we only have literally 2 defensive tackles playing this game. That should tell you something. And
Yeah,
then on
and I
top of
think
that, yeah,
when we talk, I think we have the most pessimism when it comes to them with a long term. We've, especially me, have always viewed them as very reactionary way to
yeah,
operate. So my question is this them looking at last week and all the points at Philly and the slow start with Jacksonville, or
yeah.
this them reacting, or was this part of the plan?
It's a really, really good question. I think the D tackles might have been a part of the plan. Like clearly, they've been giving different guys snaps at that area of the field to see who can step up, who can possibly make plays in these last couple of games. Because I think the playoff spot's been locked up since Philly, so we've had pretty
We
much a
locked it
month.
up Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. So yeah, so we haven't played in a truly game that matters for like a month at this point. Um, but the DB one is the one where I feel like that's reactionary because I mean, like obviously Trayvon Mullen looked horrible, but I didn't think Nashawn Wright looked bad enough to not even be able to get a jersey
No,
tonight.
no.
So
Yeah,
like
that.
that's the one that's curious to me.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Alexander played 15 snaps in the Eagles
Yeah.
game, and he's going to be relied on. Like they're relying on people tonight that we haven't relied upon all year to make
Yeah.
plays
They have
to be good
Bell
today.
And
active
this
over.
too. Yeah, and this too for special teams. Who's on special teams? Who's the other gunner? I mean, what if something happens to Godwin? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Wright even can't get special teams reps.
I think Joseph got that. So like if
Yeah,
something go
Joseph.
down, Joseph's getting the
I don't
opportunity.
like
If
that.
the worst case scenarios hit,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
like that.
That's got to be the plan for Bell. He's got to be. He's if he's active, he's.
I think that's his background talking. I don't think it's actually him.
Yeah.
All right, but beyond the inactive list, I think we've gone over that enough. Already had a couple of questions he wanted me to go through as we ramp down this 2022 season into the playoffs. All right, first things first. Thoughts and reflections. So 2022, we came in with I think mixed expectations throughout this panel, and now the season has expired. 17 games has happened. We've seen the ups and downs of this team throughout the year. What are y'all thoughts on it? How do y'all feel about this team going into Monday Night Football?
Dalen, you start.
Going into Monday Night Football, like I said, normally I'm very, very like reactionary. I'm very, nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not nervous. For some reason, I'm not really nervous. I'm chilling. I'm really gonna put a little bit of blind faith into the team without necessarily giving away too much. But I'm gonna put a little bit of blind faith in the team, and I'm gonna say I ain't nervous. They got this.
How do you feel about the year though? Like, how do you feel about the season as a whole, basically?
I mean, of course, the season as a whole, just like every team, you got your ups, you got your downs. I mean, for the Cowboys, the ups are very up and the downs are very down. So again, it's been a normal Cowboy season. It besides Cooper Rush winning, what is it, 4 games, 5 games. Besides Cooper Rush even playing, and winning a whole bunch of games with us, and the defense playing absolutely out of its mind, seasons went pretty much how I expected it to go.
All right, go ahead, Artie.
All right. As for me, I expected 12-5 or 13-4. So I was on the money with the record. What I did not expect is the resiliency, right? This is a team that we forget. Like, this is a team that lost our leader, like our quarterback, week 1. He broke his thumb, and all of us on this panel thought the season was over. Like, we thought we were gonna be talking about, all right, do we need to draft Will Anderson or Jalen Carter? Like, we thought it was wraps. You know what I'm saying? But we can appreciate Cooper Rush and knowing he's a bum, but like he really helped our season. No, real talk, he really helped our season though. To win those 4 games and be in this position we're in, and the way the defense was playing, and then for Dak to come back and to have the offense humming the way it was. We've had a rough spell here recently, but this team's resilient, bro. Every time we faced adversity this year, we came back. The first game when Dak went out, the Bengals game, we were up early, had the Bengals roaring back, game winning field goal. The very next week, CeeDee Lamb out here dropping wide open passes that could have been touchdowns in New York. What does he do? He responds by, after that drop, going for 5 catches, 70 yards and a tug. Like the
That's more than Justin Jefferson did all day yesterday against Adoree Jackson.
Hey, we don't gotta go. We don't gotta take it there. I was finna get to the mini game. What we did to them. So right then the Philly game. We down 20-0 at halftime. Game over, right? The game. Nah, we by the end of the third quarter. It's 2017. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a resilient team, bro. It's not like last year who was beating up on a bunch of bad teams that couldn't beat nobody good. This is a team that has one of the top records against teams in the NFL that are playoff teams. This is a team that has shown they can win multiple ways, and I'm just so excited and proud of the season we've had, and I hope that it continues. Starting tonight by beating the Bucs.
Go ahead, Ghost.
It's been a mixed bag season. So going into the year, I thought that they would be 12, but that was basically because we have a good roster. No matter what we say, there is a level of a good roster on this team with some full-on superstars. Go 12-5, but it might look mixed. And the playoffs, I'm not thrilled at how the season ended, but after we hoping for a rebuild, if I'm being honest, I'm looking at this team and I'm saying roster, but not every good roster can win. We might be topped out with what this roster can do. Changes. And then all of a sudden we have a top 5 defense for a month. Cooper Rush is out there not turning it over, and we're winning. You're like, okay, when Dak comes back, what's this team going to be? And what happens? We'll off a couple win streaks. The defense somehow drops to bottom 15 out of nowhere. Who knows what reason? But I'm still feeling confident. I'm looking at this as a team that you can win with, but you got to push the right button. KM and DQ and MM, you got to hit those right buttons and to outsmart the other coaches. And early in the season, they did that for a while. Now, reverting back to falling on their talent. And, when you look at this is a team that the front office didn't believe could win until they started winning. They were plans of 11, 9 wins, a soft reboot, and really pushing what we got. So you saw they pressed a little. You saw they got some vets. They made some changes. Let's see if this mentality has sunk through. Is this a new era of look at their team, or is this once again, hey, we got a talented roster that could win, organization around them that doesn't really care or believe they could?
Yeah, for me, I think this is the somehow the Cowboys can both overachieve and underachieve in the same year. And
Mm.
it's really incredible how they can do something like that. But that's just the story of this franchise. Because I think 12 and 5, 13 and 4, I think that was optimistic, even if it was within the range, just because of the schedule and our roster and stuff like that. Like there's still
Yeah.
like Noah Brown and Dennis Houston were starting week 1. That's not a team that's supposed to go out there and win 12, 13 games. It's just not, but they found a way to do it. Cooper Rush, we thank you for your service. You were
Thank
fantastic
you
for
for
us through those 5 weeks. We
that.
really, really, you kept the season afloat. And honestly, no one wants to see a season that's dead in the water week 1. Like the fact that we get to come out here and root for a playoff team is fantastic. It's fun. These don't come around very often. We're getting a chance to go against the GOAT and Tom Brady. So yeah, gotta thank Cooper Rush. Gotta thank the team for overachieving the ownership's expectations. But yeah, just up and down. It's been really fun. I would like to see the team that I expected Dak to have when Cooper Rush was playing show up today. That's really the biggest thing I want on Monday night I want to see the defense here. I want to see the run game here. I don't want to have to be Dak and Lamb versus Brady and Evans. You know, like it can't become that kind of one-on-one who scores more points type of matchup. It got to be the entire football team that we thought back in week 5, week 6, week 7 had the highest upside of any team in the NFL, just based off of adding a top 7, 6, 5 quarterback to a team that was ripping through the league with defense and run game. You
I
call him for you whatever you want to put him at.
I
Go
don't
ahead, Ghost.
want to look. I don't want to look too far ahead. Look, you can beat the Bucs if you play a good game and
Mm-hmm.
pace them on offense.
Mm-hmm.
You can make some plays on defense. Yourself up with a decent win. You could set yourself up with a tight win and say, look, we had a good. If we want to do anything of substance, if we want to quote unquote going into next season or going into next week, we need to have the best pass. We need Micah to be the best defensive player in the NFL. We need him to live in their backfield. If he's going to be on the edge, he needs edge. And he has been, which means someone's got to finish for one. His disappeared. He's exhausted. I can't hate on him for causing chaos. Someone has to do it this week. Mike is going to be fired up. Someone to pay off what he's doing.
Let Alice get in there before you switch the topic.
I would say gap integrity on the run defenses, pass lane integrity, even more this week. Bucks have Ryan Jensen this week. That interior may not see any really from lining up my different places. I see him back to eight. The edge rush and so pressure up. We don't attack the game even on this roster for one. Consistent pressure up there and Micah in the middle, like Mike swooping in and finishing cleaning up and just getting Tom Brady off. This has to be a Tony Pollard game. Hands down, it has to be a Tony. My faith in MG. Hopefully he does something, but I feel like Tony Pollard is going to have rain on Devin and cover him. So this needs to be a big Tony Pollard game, at least.
Faith in MG is crazy, but that's
You can have faith. You can have faith in somebody and they disappoint you. I mean, we're Cowboys fans, so
That's how this works for this franchise. All right,
yeah.
Ghost was talking about looking ahead. I already want to look ahead as well. Off in case this happens to be the last night of the NFL season, somberly. In case,
please no,
off
Lord,
season,
please.
off season, biggest needs, top 3. What do y'all think they are in
Pick me.
free
Let me
agency and or the draft?
Pick
Go
me.
ahead, Arnie.
let me go.
All right, bro. Number one, wide receiver. I mean,
You
Noah
mean the
Brown.
same top need as
Oh my
last year?
god! Oh my god! Right? Oh my god! Everybody's shocked. You have Michael Gallup and Noah Brown in the bottom.
Five.
Whatever. I suck at math.
Five.
Bottom of the
Five.
league is separating.
5.
You got
Bottom
CeeDee
5.
Lamb in the top 5. That's a problem. Dalton Schultz has already been tagged, and we don't really want to pay him. So
I know who wouldn't be top 5, but I ain't gonna say it.
You sticky boy. I see what you did there. But nah, bro, it's definitely wide receiver one. We need not only other pass catchers, but we need dynamic pass catchers. We need guys that can take the top off the defense. We need guys that can actually be reliable to catch the ball. I mean, Noah Brown literally lost us a game that would have had a tie with not tied. We lost to the Washington, whatever's. If we would have Noah Brown would have caught the pass, we would have beat Jacksonville. So I mean, it's vital to get a receiver. Next, I would go cornerback because so you took Trayvon Diggs to replace Byron Jones, and you took Kelvin Joseph to replace Anthony Brown, but all Kelvin Joseph done has been involved in the drive-by shooting and been a rapper since he's been a Cowboy. He hasn't done anything. Oh, a special team ace. I guess special teams aces mean something now when you're a top 44 pick. Anyways, yeah, we need a quarterback, bro. Nashawn Wright, I love you, bro. You're 6'4". You have long arms, but that's it. Like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all.
He ain't playing today for a reason.
Anthony Brown, Achilles are hard, bro, and we already don't like you either. So, and then Jordan Lewis broke his foot. So we're literally in cornerback hell. Like, quarterback will be one, but you gotta get weapons for your quarterback in this game. And then another stinky need I would go for 3 is I was leaning guard originally, and I'm gonna say defensive tackle. I think that Hankins has been a great addition, but he's like when you're hungry and you go to McDonald's
He's a
and you get the
bridge.
fries.
He's a stopgap.
Yeah, he's a stopgap guy. You know what I'm saying? Just something to fill your appetite for the moment. He's not really a full course meal. So I would love to get a defensive tackle who would come in here and not really just like stuff the run, but I mean, it would be nice if they could rush the passer. It'd be nice. I mean, Osa's okay, but it'll be just nice to have a hybrid defensive tackle who come in and do good for the run and help in the pass rush game.
Let me go next.
Go ahead.
Yes, please go, Alex. Please go.
About the trench dog. All right, so here's my content. The number one need in the offseason is wide receiver.
There we go.
Yes, sir. All that build up just to say the exact same thing I said.
I'm so proud of you.
But
I'm so proud of you too, because I know you're gonna say a fat person, because you know you love fat people, bro. You know you do.
Yeah,
You know you do.
I've seen, y'all seen how Conor McGovern, seen how all these different we don't even get holding penalties because he can't have to hold anybody. He's just getting whooped every single play. But I mean, this is open. But CD, if you double team CD, there's nobody. Jalen Tolbert has been. I can't even fault the guy because I mean he just hasn't had anything. But right now CD needs help. He shouldn't need help. Player that wears brown now that should be on our team, but I died. Number 2, left guard is my second need. Man, I remember the glory days of anytime that we're good on offense, our offensive line has to be strong. Tyler Smith has shown me that he's a tackle, and I'm okay with trying to find another guard. There's a couple players in this draft that we can look for and see that we may look into. I mean, if we're considering to pay Dalton Schultz $15 million guard or defensive tackle, and that's my number 3 is a defensive tackle because Nahshon Wright is garbage. It's just he's just who he is. But we found in Deron Bland. Deron Bland, 6'2", 205, playing the nickel position, but he can play outside corner. And y'all don't sleep on Jordan Lewis. He might have broke his foot, but Jordan Lewis was doing his job consistently. Now, straight, we good. Jordan Lewis will be back. You know how Jerry Jones likes to speak.
Disagree.
Hey,
I emphatically disagree.
but
maybe.
Anthony Brown, you can't re-sign him. You can't re-sign him.
He's a free agent.
Watch them try. Watch them try. This the Cowboys.
Oh no, don't even. We all now.
Yeah, let them try.
There's
We've
no
been trying to get rid of
question.
Anthony Brown for 5 years.
That's their safety blanket. That's their binky baby. That's their little pacifier. They're not go with that until they know they got someone there. And the problem is it's just good enough up in right now. And I'm going to say that my number one need is cornerback. Receiver who can create for himself. Okay, let's be clear. We need a receiver that can beat someone, even if it's only on 5-yard slants, because apparently we don't have that. I look at our defense constantly, and there's always a ceiling, and the set with Brown at his best, you can never get to that elite. That you can manufacture pressure when you have a. I want to have a high baseline of coverage so you can. I think you need a cornerback. Unfortunately, when you burn 100 picks in the same year, can we really go out and get a rookie? Yeah, you can go. This team is ever going to take the next step. It's time to pay for talent. I think you could see receivers. I think you could go mid-level for a Brandon Cooks. Maybe they go big for someone else. But I think when you're looking at the offseason, the biggest need for me, and then the second biggest need, instead of receiver, I'm also going to – I think we play too many games on the line. We have no problem rope the wall. Every time we think we have depth, we don't. Let's get the line done. While it's also should be wide receiver. And the problem is that we've seen now what Hankins can do now so badly because he's been so solid. Why not get someone who's always solid? But that also, oh my God, yeah, don't even get me started. We don't pressure from the middle. Micah's been so deadly when you bring him in to create our own. They hope that they could get that with Chauncey and his length, and maybe you will. DT at number 3, because I think you need 2 DTs in the off season.
At least, yeah.
I say we spend money on Deron Payne and Ben Power.
We can't talk about that here. Stop. You can't talk about that here, Alex. Stop that. Stop. Bad boy.
Right. I'm gonna be a little bit different. My first offensive need is gonna be offensive coordinator because I cannot watch Dak Prescott.
I was not expecting that. I ain't going.
Because I cannot watch Dak Prescott throw another interception looking at 4 receivers and 8 defensive backs staring him in the face. I can't watch it no more. It makes me sick to my stomach to see it on a weekly basis. The fact that we've had a top 3 to 5 offense for 3 out of 4 years of Kellen Moore's tenure, the 1 year being Dak breaking his leg. It's just a testament to how excellent he's been. And our upside should be so much higher. I was watching Daniel Jones yesterday, just getting it schemed up on a silver platter. Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins running wide open. And I know it was Minnesota, but guys are just running wide open, or they're giving him clear run lanes. The game plan is easy. Hit your
Amen.
first reader, move on. Like
Phil.
it just ain't been that easy for our quarterback.
Him and Brock
And
Purdy.
then Brock Purdy too. And you saw how they left with playoff victories when it ain't that difficult on you. And we'll move on to my other one. We need a defensive coordinator too, specifically a defensive coordinator.
See, you
who's
just
going to
mad. You just mad. You just
No,
angry
listen.
right now.
We need a defensive coordinator
Hold on.
who's going to put Micah Parsons at linebacker. We need a defensive coordinator who's going to put Micah Parsons at linebacker. If Micah Parsons is doomed to be a defensive end for the rest of his career, he will never be as good as we thought he could be. It's just that simple. It's not who he is. He's not, unless you're going to bulk him up to 260, 265, and then you're bringing a 4-3 guy to a 4-4 guy or a 4-5 guy, and now he ain't as special. Like, you just can't have him getting worn down, schemed out of games. It's limiting the ceiling of him, and it's limiting the ceiling of our defense. And Dan Quinn, I love you, but the fact that you moved him there all year with no adjustment to change outside of one Green Bay game where it was clear he didn't practice there all week, you kind of just threw him in there. Like, this has to be a plan for Micah Parsons. The next defensive coordinator has to have a strong plan for Micah Parsons, because what he can be determines where we can go. And then last but not least, obviously, receiver. I said it last year. Dak can handle a bad offensive line. He cannot handle bad receiver play. He can't handle guys who can't get open. He can't handle guys who just drop the ball. Like, Dak's accurate. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not that type of thrower where he could just fit a bunch of balls into tight windows for 40, 45 attempts in a game. Like, it's just too hard to do that for 99% of the quarterbacks in the NFL. He is not one of those 1% who can. It's no shame on him for not being that. So we need another dynamic. And it don't got to, I'll say pass catcher. It don't necessarily got to be a receiver. I'd welcome a tight end who could get vertically down the field too. I think Dak wants a tight end who could do that as well. But yeah, this team needs another dynamic pass catcher paired with the offensive coordinator, paired with Dak Prescott to really make this offense trustworthy instead of being high variance.
Let's say something.
We like 15 minutes away from kickoff, and we've been having a blast. So like, we just gotta get to the game now. It's crazy how we did all that just not to get to the game.
Go ahead.
Before we get off the topic, because he said something about Dan Quinn that I've come to the realization that Dan Quinn over the last 7 weeks, and he needs to adjust. Hopefully he made that adjustment tonight.
Maybe
Micah Parsons, not even just Micah Parsons, but Leighton Vander Esch is playing better, don't get me wrong. But the linebacker, Micah, Leighton, Clark, I should not be seeing Anthony Barr on the field. It is gross.
He can't move.
You preaching to the choir, bro.
But he is so stuck on stupid. And it doesn't make any sense. I'd rather see J-Ron Kurzaker before I see Anthony Barr on the field.
I love the brutal honesty. I love it.
All right. Well, we got 15 minutes left. We got 5 people here. So 3 minutes per person. Score, game predictions, go.
Dalen go first.
Score, I got 28-17 us. Why is it gonna happen? It's gonna happen because this magical pass rush is gonna show up. It might not be there in the first half now. Now calm down. It might not be there in the first half. But the second half, Micah got us. Law got us. I think you're gonna see a little bit of quick blitzes that'll confuse the O-line and some that'll cause Brady to kind of hold the ball. That's the key. You can get back there, but Brady's been king check down. He will not let himself get hit. He will not put himself in no type of position to get hit. With that also being said, I think we can get one on Brady. We got one on Brady already the first game. So I mean, getting another one shouldn't be too impossible. Ultimately, I think they'll let Godwin go crazy. I think Evans is a no factor. Third downs, you got to get him. You got to get him to go to one of the tight ends. He has no chemistry with him at all. Get him to go to the tight ends. Other than that, I think offensively, I actually think that this will be the game where the run game comes back. I think you rush for about 150 on the Bucs and 150. I got a touchdown. Dak with the run game, like every other quarterback, is better. So I ultimately think that with Dak throwing the ball less, you get less turnover opportunities, and it leaves Lamb one on one. It just opens up the whole offense. So yeah, 28-17 us.
Alex. Then
So
goes. Alex, then goes.
I'm going
Go ahead, Alex.
is 31-19, and it's going to be us. I don't see this defense. I've been watching them all week long. This team is so locked in. They're so mad about last week. I see a blowout as Minnesota, but I see that type of focus after they lost against Green Bay. Biggest keys for me is defensively. You can say pass rush. Xavier Rhodes, Deron Bland, and whoever's playing the corner position opposite of Trayvon Diggs, they have to keep up. In my opinion, 2 and cover 3 tonight. I don't want a whole bunch of man coverage tonight because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see any press man.
We don't have the horses.
No, not at all.
We don't have the horses, and we can still get our zone blitzes in there, but I don't want to see any type of man coverage or extended. I think that's key with the Tampa 2 and Tampa 3 that he's been doing good in zone breakdowns. And like I said earlier, this has to be a Tony Pollard game. We play better, of course, when we have they're involved in the mix. However, Tony Pollard has to Zeke punish them inside the red zone, but Tony Pollard has to have a good game and passing. But the number one thing and the number one key factor, and if this doesn't screw, we know it's all wild card weekend that the penalties have been on. There has been no
I
penalties.
didn't want to break it up.
All weekend long.
Oh Lord!
If we these penalties out of nowhere, we're screwed.
Facts.
Ghost. Go ahead.
I mean, they've said it all about the defense, so I'm actually going to talk about the offense. I think it might get a little ugly in a few places, but I do think they'll come out more. They'll try to dig into the bag a bit. The run game with Zeke might struggle to be a big Pollard game. I think we need to get a few chunk plays in there. I don't see a big game from Gallup. I do think Lamb is going to have a big game. I think even in the muck that they're going to put him. But I think it's going to be close. So I think it's going to be on your stars. And I think they're going to have. And I feel like the offense will be fairly clean, slow, and ugly. So I'm going to go 23-17 Cowboys.
Nice weird score. I'll go ahead next because I don't want the panel to sweep with positivity. We'll let Artie Positivity finish this one off.
Don't do this, man. Don't do this, man.
I'm doing this for the good of the show. If we get 5 for 5, we're gonna end up freezing cold takes.
Kill me with a butter knife.
Freezing cold takes. So I'm doing this for the good of the show. I'll take Tampa Bay 28, and I'll take Dallas 27. And here's my reason for it. I don't think we can win a close football game, and it is for the exact reasons Alex said about the penalties, turnovers. This is Tom Brady we're talking about. I don't want any. If we're gonna win the game has to be put away before he gets a chance to go win it. That's what it is in my opinion. And I just don't know if we have the ability to do that. I don't trust the run game. I trust Dak. I think Dak and CD will have a really good connection. I think those guys will play well. I do think you need a good game from Michael Gallup. I was talking about 5 catches for 60 yards, maybe a touchdown, just something to show that you were a threat throughout the game. And defensively, It's all about the pass rush. We need Micah Parsons to be that guy. I mean, it's really that simple. I don't like. Yes, you want Sam Williams or Dante Fowler or Hankins or Osa or even Tank to contribute. You want that. You need Micah to show up and be that guy. Like, he has to be. There's no choice. He can't have a bad day, and we expect to leave with a W on this one. I'm real nervous about that CB2 spot. They're gonna lose Mike. They're gonna move Mike Evans around. If you don't want to play man all the time, then you can't have Trayvon Diggs following Mike Evans everywhere. So Xavier Rhodes got to be ready to strap him up. He's gonna see some Mike Evans, Godwin, all those types of guys. But yeah, I think it'll be a good back and forth affair. I think the Cowboys will play from ahead for most of the day. I think the offense will look good for most of the day, but they'll leave the door cracked slightly with enough time for Tom Brady to pull off his latest heartbreak. And I'll take the Bucs 28-27.
I just want to forgive all the people that are gonna watch this video and like laugh at Moody because of that bad predict. I just want to forgive you having to go through that. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win this football game. We're going to win 32-29. This is a game where it's going to be a bit of back and forth in the first half. And in the third quarter, we're going to struggle a little bit. We're going to get that little lull where, you know, we start pressing and maybe a turnover happens or whatever. But I genuinely feel like in the fourth quarter of this game, Dak Prescott is going to put on one of the best, not only performances of his career, one of the best playoff performances we've ever seen. I think we're going to be down like 29-17, and we're going to storm all the way back to win 32-29. I've been feeling it all day, really for the past week. They're just going to leave too much time for Dak this time instead of leaving too much time for Brady. He's going to show the world and show some people on this panel that he is a top 4 quarterback, not top 5, not top 6, not top 7, top 4. So
this man said, if it's 29-17 through 3 quarters, I might not have any of this left. Like, you about to put us through hell, bro.
I might gotta
talk about 29-17 through 3.
No, really,
yeah, but nah, seriously though, 32-29. We don't get this dub, man. We get this dub, and we'll talk about San Francisco next week, or we won't talk about anything at all. Who knows?
We'll see. Yeah, because if my prediction comes to pass, we may not see y'all again until September. But that's a wrap. I appreciate everybody, Dalen, Artie, Alex, Ghost, for joining us. We got about 5 minutes till kickoff. Everybody can get their snacks, get their bathroom break, get their TV calibrated. This is time. This is the time.
Let's fucking get it. Let's fucking
somebody go home. Hey, Alex, give me a one call.
I don't think Alex here. Alex might be taking care of the kid.
Well, I'll say it myself then.
No, there he is. No, there he is.
Hey, come on, Master! Hey, we out this thing, bro. Y'all have a blip, bro. Go Cowboys, goddamn.
Go, there it is. There it is.
Yes, sir.